I am Mr. Thorne's Groves. An event that could destroy lives and careers are in Deadly World Event 2. That's why we at Ms. Volgotha Channel are bringing the sad Sean Combs trial. In the vast and often dazzling ecosystem of modern celebrity, few figures have cast as long a shadow as the music and business magnate Sean Diddy Combs. For decades, his name has been synonymous with success, innovation, and a lavish lifestyle that captivated millions. Yet as we find ourselves in the summer of 2025, the world's attention is fixed not on a new album or business venture, but on the solemn wood-panelled interior of a federal courtroom. The trial of Sean Combs has become a cultural touchstone, a moment of collective pause where the bright lights of fame are dimmed by the stark, unflinching spotlight of the justice system. It is a complex and compelling story that has drawn in the public, not merely for its famous protagonist, but for the fundamental questions it raises about power, conduct, and accountability. The story that has unfolded for the jury and the public is one of intricate detail and profound human drama. The trial, which began weeks ago and is now drawing to its conclusion, has meticulously peeled back the layers of a world often hidden from view. It is a world of exclusive parties, luxurious hotel suites, and the constant hum of an entourage. But beneath this glittering surface, prosecutors allege a darker reality took root. The legal proceedings have become a daily spectacle, with every piece of testimony and every legal maneuver scrutinized. This is not simply about one individual, it is about the very nature of the environment that surrounds extreme wealth and influence, and the responsibilities that come with inhabiting such a rarefied space in our society. The journey to this trial was a long one, marked by a series of events that gradually built into a crescendo of public and legal action. It began with civil lawsuits that brought shocking allegations into the public domain, which were followed by federal raids on the defendants' properties in September 2024. These raids, dramatic and widely publicized, signaled a significant escalation, transforming private disputes into a matter of federal criminal investigation. The subsequent arrest and indictment of Combs on serious charges, including racketeering and sex trafficking, set the stage for the legal battle now captivating the nation. The public's fascination is fueled by the stark contrast between the defendant's carefully curated public persona and the deeply troubling accusations now being weighed by a jury of his peers. This trial serves as a powerful and public examination of the unwritten rules that govern interactions in the highest echelons of the entertainment industry. It forces a conversation about the boundaries between consensual behavior and coercion, between a celebratory lifestyle and a pattern of alleged exploitation. As the jury prepares to deliberate, the world watches not just for a verdict, but for what this moment signifies. It is a reminder that the principles of law and respectful human conduct are intended to apply universally, regardless of fame, fortune, or the powerful allure of a celebrity's orbit. The outcome will resonate far beyond the courtroom, influencing how we perceive and navigate the complex relationship between creator and fan, power and vulnerability. At the core of this legal contest are two fundamentally different interpretations of the same events, a classic courtroom dichotomy of prosecution versus defense. The prosecution, over a period of nearly 7 weeks, constructed a narrative centered on the argument that Sean Combs systematically used his immense power, wealth, and influence as tools of coercion. They called over 30 witnesses to the stand, each adding a brushstroke to a larger picture of an alleged criminal enterprise operating under the guise of a glamorous lifestyle. The government's case contends that Combs fostered an environment where his desires were paramount, and that he manipulated and intimidated individuals, particularly women, into participating in sexual acts against their will, framing these encounters as part of a disturbing pattern of control. The prosecution's case is built on a foundation of racketeering charges, a legal framework typically used to dismantle organized crime. They argue that Combs' business and personal life became dangerously intertwined, creating a structure that facilitated illegal activities. A central focus has been on what witnesses have described as multi-day freak-offs, parties where, it is alleged, individuals were pressured into sexual encounters. To substantiate these claims, prosecutors presented a trove of evidence, including financial records detailing party expenses, text messages and audio recordings. Perhaps the most visceral piece of evidence was a 2016 hotel security video, which appeared to show a physical altercation between Combs and his former partner, providing a stark visual anchor for their claims of a long-standing pattern of abuse. The defense, in stark contrast, has presented a narrative of consensual, if unconventional, relationships. Their strategy has been to challenge the credibility of the accusers, suggesting their motivations are financial and that their testimonies are colored by hindsight and regret. During rigorous cross-examinations, defense attorneys highlighted affectionate text messages sent by accusers to Combs, sometimes after the alleged incidents of abuse occurred. The defense paints a picture of complex romantic entanglements, arguing that what the prosecution labels as coercion was in fact the messy but consensual reality of their shared lives. Their aim is to introduce reasonable doubt, to convince the jury that the line between a consensual lifestyle and a criminal conspiracy is not as clear as the prosecution claims. In a surprising and bold legal maneuver, the defense rested its case in under 30 minutes, choosing not to call a single witness to the stand. This decision, including Combs' own choice not to testify, signals a clear strategy. They believe the prosecution has failed to meet its high burden of proof. The defense is essentially arguing that the government's narrative, woven from the testimony of individuals they portray as unreliable, is not strong enough to secure a conviction beyond a reasonable doubt. This places the entire weight of the verdict on the jury's interpretation of the prosecution's evidence and the credibility of its witnesses, setting the stage for a dramatic and unpredictable final act. The trial's most compelling moments have undoubtedly come from the witness stand, where human stories have brought the legal arguments to life. The defendant, Sean Combs, has been a silent but constant presence, a 55-year-old titan of industry, now facing the potential loss of his freedom. His background as the architect of a music empire and a global brand is the inescapable context for the entire proceeding. It is this very success, the prosecution argues, that provided him with the power to allegedly manipulate those around him. His journey from a determined young producer to a cultural icon is a story of immense ambition and achievement, but it is now being re-examined through a lens of serious criminal allegations that challenge the very foundation of his public image. The accusers and key witnesses have provided the emotional core of the prosecution's case. Cassandra Cassie Ventura Fine, a singer and Combs' former long-term partner, delivered harrowing testimony over 4 days. Her account detailed a relationship she described as being dominated by control and violence, culminating in the 2016 hotel incident captured on video. Another key witness, a model who dated Combs more recently, testified to similar patterns of alleged coercion and physical abuse. These testimonies are central to the prosecution's effort to establish a consistent pattern of behavior, suggesting that these were not isolated incidents, but part of a calculated method of operation that spanned many years and involved multiple individuals who entered his orbit. Beyond the primary accusers, the jury also heard from a number of former assistants and associates, each offering a unique perspective from inside Combs' world. One former assistant corroborated claims of abusive behavior, while another described an atmosphere of fear and intimidation, recounting an instance where she was allegedly held against her will over a piece of missing jewelry. Other former staff members testified about the logistics of the so-called freak-offs, describing their roles in stocking hotel rooms with specific items like baby oil, condoms, and performance-enhancing drugs at Combs' direction. Their collective testimony was intended to paint a detailed picture of the machinery behind the glamorous facade, suggesting a highly organized and deliberate operation. These voices, from the defendant to the accusers to the staff, create a complex tapestry of human experience. For the jury, the task is to navigate these deeply personal and often conflicting accounts to find the truth. The background of each person is relevant only as it pertains to the alleged events. The accusers are not just anonymous figures, they are individuals whose lives intersected with a powerful celebrity, and their testimony raises profound questions about the dynamics of such relationships. The challenge for the jurors is to look past the fame and the headlines and to weigh the evidence presented by these human voices, each with their own story to tell in their search for justice. Regardless of the jury's final decision, the trial has served as a powerful public service announcement about the importance of good social behavior. For artists, athletes, and any public figure who commands attention, the proceedings are a stark reminder that fame is not a shield. It is in fact a magnifying glass that amplifies both good deeds and missteps. The truest measure of character is not found on a stage or in a boardroom, but in how one treats others, especially when the cameras are off. Respecting personal boundaries, understanding consent as an enthusiastic and ongoing agreement, and adhering to the law are not optional guidelines. They are the fundamental pillars of a decent and honorable life. True influence is not about control, but about inspiring others through integrity and kindness. For the millions of fans and followers who look up to these figures, there is also a vital lesson. The allure of celebrity can be powerful, and the desire to be close to that world is understandable. However, it is crucial to remember that every individual, regardless of their status, deserves to be treated with dignity and respect. No one should ever feel pressured to compromise their values or their safety to gain proximity to fame. True self-worth comes from within, not from association with another person's success. It is a shared responsibility to foster a culture where respectful interaction is the norm, and where the rights and well-being of every person are held as sacred, creating a safer environment for everyone. The beauty of a free society is its foundation in the rule of law, a system designed to protect everyone equally. This principle allows us to gather in stadiums to cheer for our favorite teams, to fill concert halls to experience the magic of live music, and to live our daily lives with a sense of security and joy. These moments of collective happiness are possible because we have a shared understanding of and respect for the rules that govern our interactions. When that trust is broken, the justice system must step in, not as a punitive force, but as a restorative one, aiming to reaffirm the values that allow our society to flourish. It is a system that, at its best, ensures that joy and freedom are not reserved for a select few. Ultimately, this trial prompts a broader reflection on how we can all contribute to a more just and joyful world. It begins with simple acts of mutual respect in our own communities. It grows through our commitment to upholding the laws that protect us all, and it blossoms in the understanding that a truly fulfilling life is not measured by wealth or popularity, but by the positive impact we have on those around us. By championing fairness, respecting boundaries, and celebrating our shared humanity, we can all participate in the creation of a society where every individual has the opportunity to live lawfully, joyfully, and with the profound peace that comes from being both free and safe.